There's got to be like a special way that people do these videos about backpacks. Maybe they don't have all their stuff in it, maybe they're doing it at a table, but it's like 50 degrees and I'm sweating from holding this thing up for the past half hour. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. If this is your first time seeing me on a video, my name is Tyler. I'm just a normal dude who is into guns, building things, gear, etc. All that good stuff. And really quickly, if you have seen some of my other videos, I just wanted to say a quick thank you for all the support and the feedback on those videos. I don't check this channel that often, but I'm always very pleasantly surprised whenever I see a bunch of comments, likes, recommendations, etc. So thank you guys so much for your support, for watching the videos. Anyway, this video is going to be about my current favorite backpack, this thing here. This is the Alpha 19er Evade 1.5 Full. So this video is going to be broken down into two parts. First part, we're going to talk about the backpack itself. The second part, I'm going to talk about how I use this backpack as part of my EDC and occasionally for off-body carry as well, if that's interesting to you. But first, let's talk about what exactly this is. So the backpack's designer crowdsourced a lot of the features and the design of this backpack, both the original and then all the revisions from kind of some EDC forums apparently. The backpack is 25 liters in volume and weighs between 4 and 5 pounds depending on how you configure this. There's a few different fabrics you can get. This is the nylon ripstop. They also have this as Cordura if you want to go that route. The price is going to be between $170 and $200 depending on which options you go for. And which material you choose. Now I should say this is, as far as I can tell, only available through their website, which I will put down below in the description. I don't get any kickbacks for any of that stuff, and they're frequently out of stock, so if you want one, just check back every once in a while. Maybe sign up for stock notifications if you really want to get your hands on one in a particular color or material. Alright, so we're going to start off with the appearance of the backpack. If you've seen any of my previous videos before, if you know a little bit about me, you know that I tend not to want to stand out too much. So if you get something like this in like black or gray, I don't think that it'll show off the fact that it's kind of tactical. It does have a little patch thing here, which, weird note, it's not a standard size patch. It's I want to say that's like a 3 by, I don't know, 4 or something. It's a weird size for a patch, but they do give you kind of a matching material cover. So like if I have the black nylon ripstop here, they're going to give me a matching cover for that. I just put this, I honestly don't know where that patch came from, but I got that for free somewhere. So I have to put that on there just so that I can always tell this is my bag. So you have the option to run a patch or you can run it blank. And I mean, from the outside, there's a lot of stuff going on here with like straps and buckles and everything, but I don't think you'd ever be able to tell this is a kind of like tactical backpack or anything like that. Nobody would look at this and think, oh man, there's a gun in there. As far as I can tell so far, and I've had this now for a couple of months, been using it pretty much every day, no quality control issues. Everything's really well made. The one thing I will say is that as far as the size of this bag, it is kind of tall. For scale, I'm 5'11" with no shoes on, completely barefoot. And this is like the height of my torso. I don't know if you can tell. For me, I like that. I like that when I'm wearing the bag on my back here. You can see it goes up to my shoulders and all the way kind of down most of my back. And I think that looks normal. I don't really like when backpacks are very short and they kind of look like they cut off up here and upward on my back. I feel like this is a weird look. The other thing I do want to say about this bag is that it is fairly heavy, 4 to 5 pounds depending on how you configure this, and that's fully empty. But part of the reason why it's so heavy is the features inside. I don't think they could have made this lighter and had it be as well controlled. We'll start on the outside. So in the front here, we do have these loops. I don't know how well you can see that. We have these loops here that it came with a bungee attached that goes through all these loops. You can use that to affix if you had, let's say, like a jacket you wanted to take off and slap on the front, or you wanted to put like your, maybe riding a bike, you have a helmet you want to attach there. They also even make a beaver tail attachment that would go through these loops as well if you wanted to have an extra section with things in the front here. So that's an option. For me, I choose not to run with that. On the bottom of the pack, you can actually see we have these buckles. They're adjustable. I don't know if this is what the intended purpose is, but like for me, a lot of times I'm carrying this back to the gym, and then when I change out my gym clothes, I'll kind of roll them up, pop them on the bottom there, strap them in, keep them there. Just because it's like out exposed to the air, so it won't stink up the inside of that bag if I was super sweaty or something. Going on to the sides, this one is actually really important to me. So you have a water bottle pocket on either side, and just for example, this is a 1 liter bottle. It's fairly large in diameter, especially at the bottom. That fits into that pocket, no problem. And I've even put a 40 ounce Yeti bottle on the other side at the same time. So if you're worried that this is not going to be big enough to hold your water bottles, not a legitimate concern. I promise you it'll almost definitely fit. Going on to the back side of the bag, you do have all of this stuff here, this kind of padding with the mesh and the foam. You've got this pass-through there. I believe this is supposed to be used for if you're carrying this on top of like a suitcase, like a rolling suitcase, you want to put it up on top there. At least that's the only reason I could think that that would be there. The straps are pretty comfortable, so you actually, if you can see, there's a bit of a gap between the top of the bag. The strap is attached here, and then you have what's called a load lifter right there. When you've got the straps on, you put your chest strap there, and then you obviously have these dangly bits here to pull on, and you can make the straps tighter, so you'd be bringing the pack closer to your body. But load lifters, these straps here are basically adjust how that load is carried. So if I pull on these, it's going to move that load, kind of shifting it up more toward my shoulders like this. And if I let them out a little bit, it's going to shift that weight a little bit more further down across my torso, so it's going to be more toward my hips. So this is really helpful where if you're carrying this for a long time, you could adjust on the fly, you know, kind of where you want to distribute that load if you're getting tired or getting uncomfortable with the current position. We open this guy up. We have this front section here first. In this front section, you have on this front side kind of a mesh pouch where you can put stuff in there. It's zippered there. This goes real deep all the way down to the bottom of the bag, by the way, so you can plop a bunch of stuff in there if you wanted to. You also have this whole panel is actually a removable organizer. I'm not going to pull it off because I have all my stuff on there, but this removable organizer does come with the bag. This whole section here, if you were to take that off, that is going to be Velcro. So you can replace that with other organizers if you like. But I do really like this setup they have. The organizer has a bunch of kind of card pockets on this side, a little pocket that could have been used for an older, smaller phone perhaps right here, a bunch of pen things there, another pocket back there, and then a zippered pocket here. Behind that section, we actually have another zippered pocket that is part of the bag. So even if you didn't have this detachable organizer, you still have this zipper pocket back here that, again, goes pretty much all the way down to the bottom of the bag if you want to put a bunch of stuff in there. One more bit on the bag itself, it has this little loop. I put my keys on there. That's one thing I really appreciate. I don't like just throwing my keys in my bag. I want to know that they're there, and I want to know that I can get them if I need to. Going up through the bag, the next pocket on the way back is going to be this one here. This is kind of just your velvety, textured, soft pocket for like glasses or maybe your phone, whatever you want to use that for. This one's real short, so my fingers are bottomed out right there, but that is supposed to keep your glasses or your fragile stuff away from the rest of the contents of the bag. Now, something I kind of forgot to mention is that the pack does have these buckles with straps here. These are meant to kind of just cinch the bag up, so you can kind of see, even with a bunch of stuff in here, I've cinched up the bottom section, so it kind of sucks it in this way, so the pack's not going to be bulging out. But if I did need more space or I had more stuff in here, I could very easily just let these straps out and let the bag expand across this way. Same deal up top, you have very similar buckles and straps and stuff. I'm going to undo those right now though, so we can open up the top, the main compartment of this pack. And as this flops open here, you do have, in this front panel, you have one zippered mesh section, another zippered mesh section there. I think that's really good use of the space. You have another one of these loops in case you wanted to hang something off of there. This pouch is not actually part of the bag. Bring you guys in closer. You can see inside the bag that the reason that this bag is so heavy, or one reason anyway, is that you have this PALS MOLLE system here. So you have all these loops. This whole thing is Velcro. You have all these loops for a MOLLE system. So this pouch was just kind of a modular thing I got on like Amazon. It's got MOLLE attachment on the back. I don't know how well you can see that. And that's how I run my bag. So I can put stuff down here and have a separate compartment up here for whatever else I need. If you look back in here, there's also 3 more of these plastic rings to hang other stuff if you needed to. And this section is, like I said, pretty generous. You could do whatever you wanted to. And I really like the idea of having Molly, the webbing back here. Continuing on into this back section here, unzip this. This might be kind of harder to show you, but basically what we have on the full version of this bag, you have this laptop section. So that's where your laptop would go. It can accommodate up to like a 15.5-inch laptop. You might be able to jam a 17 in there. Wouldn't recommend it though. And then you also have, again, kind of hard to demo, but you have one divider here, another divider just below that, and there's a space between those dividers and your laptop section. So you could reasonably carry like a laptop in here, notebook, more paper, documents, whatever, in this whole section, keep it all flat and nice, no problem. Last section or last compartment, and one of the biggest reasons why I wanted this bag is just that you have this quote unquote hidden CCW compartment, if you will, where inside here on the side, and I guess the idea is from your back, you can sling this around to the front, zip that down and reach into that pocket, no problem. And it has access from both sides actually, so you can go in through this side as well. And I should say both sides of this section here, so both the side in here, this surface, and the surface on this side, they're both Velcro as well. So if you want a secure way to attach things in that compartment, you have that Velcro there too. So overall, my opinion of this bag, when it comes to the quality, I think it would be hard to beat. I've owned quite a few backpacks in my day, and this is the nicest one hands down. It's also not the most money that I've paid for a backpack. I've had stuff that's more expensive than this that's not quite as nice or as well made. I feel like you can really tell that the people who run this company, the people who design this, really care about the product itself. They want this to be a thing where you buy it, you use it, and you like it so much that you tell other people about it, which is kind of exactly what happened for me. Wasn't planning on making this video, but I like this bag so much I kind of feel like I should. As far as value goes, that's kind of a tough one because it's been a good few years since I had to buy a backpack, and I don't remember backpacks costing so much. Like when I was hopping online and looking at things like this, or Vertex, Osprey, whatever, a lot of these bags are more expensive than I would have wanted to pay, even this one. But in my head, it's like, if I do the research and I find the one that I want and I feel like that's the perfect bag for me, I'd rather spend a little bit more once and just be satisfied with that for many years to come than go through a few different bags and end up spending more money than I would have otherwise. So if you're kind of in the market for just one backpack and you're going to use that for a long time, this fits your needs, I would say go for it. You're going to end up paying similar money for one of those other big brands like Vertex, and honestly I think that you get better value out of something like this than you would from one of those bigger brands that are probably better known. Let's get into how I use this backpack and how I pack this up. For me, I do work from home, and I've been working from home for like the past 8 years, so the only time I really need to have or to carry a backpack is if I'm traveling or if I'm going to the gym. The one that happens more often, obviously, is me going to the gym. So for me, if I'm training, I'm not going to wear clothes like this. I'm probably going to be wearing gym clothes with gym shorts, and I'm not going to have the gun on my body. In which case, the gun is going to either stay in the car or it's going to be in my bag in a concealed compartment. The main reason for that is because like if I'm leaving the gym, let's say, and I grab my bag or put my gun back into my bag, if I have to run back to like the store on the way home, I don't want to just leave the gun in the car if I don't have to. I'm going to take that with me. I'm going to take the bag with me and at least have it on my body or on my person, perhaps not on my body if I should need it. We'll go through the pockets kind of again, showing you what I've got in here. So front section here. On this front section, I've got in individual bags, kind of medical-ish stuff. Here I have extra contact lenses, some ibuprofen, some acetaminophen, Dayquil essentially, and 1 dose of sumatriptan, which is a migraine medicine. Whatever medications you think you might need, especially if you have something as urgent as like a migraine or allergies, definitely want to have it on hand. Probably need to replace this bag myself. I've got these little flosser things because you never know when you're going to be eating something and something gets stuck in your teeth. And aside from looking funny, that's just very annoying. So flossers are important. Hand sanitizer. And then I do keep in this section a couple of N95 masks. These are going to be kind of like my reserves if I should need these. If I absolutely need them, I'll use them, but for right now, that's kind of just emergency supplies. In the bottom of this section here, this is why I'm out of breath, because it's so heavy. I have a solar battery pack. This is a 2400 milliamp hour solar, so I can put this by the window, it'll charge up itself. You can charge my phone, I think maybe like 3 or 4 times with this. This little, this really cute pencil case. I just needed a thing that was a good size to hold some spare tools. So I have a Torx wrench that fits the bolts on my holsters and on my optics. I have a spare part for a plunger on a Glock or a CZ. Spare batteries for, I believe this would be for an RMR or a Holosun optic. I even have, believe it or not, a spare striker for a CZP-10C, as well as the correct size punches that I would need to take apart a Glock or a P10. Oh, also the adjustment tool for a Holosun optic. But I keep all these things in here because you never know if you're going to need those tools. And if you're going to carry a gun, the worst thing that could possibly happen is you're carrying your gun and, you know, it's the newest, fanciest plastic gun and it's supposed to be super reliable, but it breaks on you. And I will tell you, I have gone through 3 strikers on plastic guns in the past year. So that's not to say anything about the reliability, by the way. I think they are very reliable guns, but you never know. You might get very unlucky and break some parts and not have a working gun. So maybe carry some tools with you. On my organizer here, we've got, like I said, my keys on this side. In this little card section, I keep just a lens cleaning cloth. If you wear glasses or sunglasses, I feel like that's super important. You don't want to have smudged glasses because when you try to wipe it off with your t-shirt or whatever else, you just make it dirtier. You can't see. In this center section that I believe was supposed to be used for a phone, I have OC spray, and then I have a knife. I don't carry a knife on body. I don't feel like it's super important, but I do have one in my bag in case. On the right side here, I have a little stabby pen. I have a 4-color pen here as well for taking notes and stuff. And then I have my Olight's M2R Warrior. Great light. Olight makes good stuff. I don't get any kickbacks from them either, but if you like their stuff, maybe go buy some. In this zippered section here, I don't really want to take all these out, but I have cords. So I have my cord to recharge my weapon mounted light or my flashlight. I also have a USB Type-C in case I need to charge my phone. What is this? I have an extra lens cleaning cloth. And then behind there, we have this kind of deep section behind that admin panel. And in this section, I kind of use that as my dump for my valuables. So if I'm, let's say, at the gym, or if I am traveling and I just want to put my stuff out of my pockets, I'll put like my wallet back here sometimes. So here's my wallet. What else do I have in there? Receipts, if I'm collecting receipts as I'm traveling, I want to write things off. Chapstick, of course, gotta have that. And that's the whole front section. Like I said, in my case, if I'm traveling or if I'm going to the gym, I'm gonna have a water bottle like this on one side. On this side, either another water bottle sometimes, or I'll put like a shaker bottle with like Gatorade or whatever else I want in this side. But I like having both for 2 reasons. One, more water. You never know when you're gonna be thirsty and you need to stay hydrated. The other thing is just that for me, I hate the feeling of having one giant heavy thing on this side where the bag is just constantly pulling me on one side if I am carrying it. But water, very important. And I'm gonna take this out of the bag now because it's very heavy. This front valuable section, that little Velcro, or not Velcro, the velvety pocket, for me, I usually use that for my phone. So if I am working out, my phone will go in here just so I can grab it easily out of the bag if I need to. Onto this main section here. This section right here, this mesh section, if I were packing this out for travel, this would have like my work stuff, my work equipment. So like my headphones would go in there, my computer mouse would go in there, my charger perhaps would go in here. This second section down on the bottom. So I have a Kind bar, a couple of protein bars, a little bit of whey protein in the bottom there in case I get hungry while I'm on the go. If I were packing this for a trip, I'd have probably all my clothes in a packing cube down here, and then all this stuff would be maybe toiletries, whatever else, if I have to add things into that pouch. Onto this back section here. So normally the way I would pack this is I'd have a notebook or kind of day planner thing in one of these divided sections. I do keep in that back section here. These are where I keep my normal use masks. So these are just kind of the flat ones, not N95, so I'll keep these here if I ever need to grab a mask, if I forgot to bring one with me somewhere. And then in this back section, that's where the computer goes. Another consideration when I bought this was the possibility of running a plate in this section. Now, in my head, that's still a possibility. I know some people who make plates that would fit really nicely in here, and they're not super heavy. But the thing is, when you have a laptop and a notebook and all the other shit in here, plus you have your gun and whatever else in that concealed carry section, it does make for a really lumpy surface on the back here. And this section, this back like third of the pack, gets super tight. I don't know if that's a good excuse not to run a plate, and I also don't even know that I feel the need to run a plate, but if I did, I could. I probably just wouldn't also carry the laptop in here. It would be somewhere else, and I'd have the plate in that laptop section. Last compartment is going to be the kind of concealed compartment where the firearm would go if you're going to do that. So for me, the way I imagine this going is if I were carrying this off body, I'd be doing it, one arm like this is how I normally carry my backpack when I'm walking around. But it'll come off my shoulder. I'll grab that top strap here with this hand. Zipper comes down. By the way, one thing I think that Vertex does really well that these guys should have thought about is making a more prominent pull tab for that concealed carry compartment. Maybe they didn't want to do that because it sticks out too much, but I think that's something I might add myself later on. But anyway, have this compartment down here, reach in, grab your gun. For me, I have my P10C in there right now with an extended mag. I don't know if you can see that. And a full-size weapon light, and that fits just fine. This is the Blackhawk Omnivore. It's made by the same people who make the Serpa holster, so if that turns you off, that's fine. Kind of a cool idea though. So what this does is it's a universal-ish holster where the holster rig is going to retain off of the light. So for me, I run O-lights on most of my guns. I know, weird choice. This is actually not made for an O-light. They don't make one for the O-light. They make it for the TLR1 and the Surefire X300 series. So if you run one of those, you're probably better off. But the cool thing is you have that thumb retention kind of like you would have for a Safariland, but this is kind of a universal rig. So whether I want to run this gun, any of my other guns, as long as it has that same light, it'll fit in here and it'll more or less retain. The only downside to something like this is that it is, as you can see, don't freak out, you can't get shot through a video, because I know I'm muzzling you guys. But as you can see, it's fairly wide. And this is what I was talking about when I was saying how running all of these things in combination with each other does make for kind of a lumpy back surface. It's because of stuff like this. But I think it's important to have a good holster. I like the fact that this being injection molded rather than being Kydex, it can't really collapse. So it's pretty sturdy. And then having that retention is just one extra measure of safety if you feel like you should need it. The last thing in my case is on the opposite side of that concealed compartment. To pull that down, I do have a spare mag for that gun. Normally it'd be a spare mag or two spare mags for the same gun. For this video I just have a spare 1911 mag and a spare CZ mag there. I'm running one of these Maxpedition, this is just Velcro on this backside, but I'm running a Maxpedition elastic mag retainer. This is not as sturdy as like a actual magazine holster. You got something like this, that would retain a little bit better. And I did test these out in the bag. I just didn't like the way they felt or functioned. And honestly, as long as it's in the backpack, I think something like this works just fine. That's the bag. That's how I use it. Hopefully that helps you guys out if you're looking at something like this. Maybe it'll help you make a decision as to what you buy or what you don't buy. But anyway, if you like this video, consider dropping me a like, comment if you have any ideas for future videos. And that's all I've got. So I'll see you guys next time. I'm gonna go off to my first day of school. Bye-bye.